I wonder if Colleen asked her to take it down or if she took it down during the
Hell no, she took that shit down.
Yeah.
Colleen?
Me, right?
Right. Haven't heard about Colleen in a minute. I guess she's just laying low, huh?
Fart joke.
Here is a short. This one's a little easier to take in.
Other questions? Do you have any other questions?
Not really. Not really. It's probably best you skedaddle home to be mother of the year,
Are you gonna buy me a flight home? Are you gonna buy me a flight home?
I can do that. It's the least I could do.
Can it be nonstop? Nonstop.
Was that like a...
So anyway, whatever. So what is going on here? I'm very curious what y'all think. Is it possible? Here, they did an interview with her. Let's see. When I started my podcast in April, I wanted to do interviews with celebrities, but I didn't know how I was going to get there. It's really hard to get my guests, so I made a video on TikTok saying I will give $300 to any person who successfully connected me with a celebrity. That's kind of interesting. Really?
Oh, that is a good move, I guess.
Just a little headhunter thing.
How much?
Selling out their famous friends for $300. I got the same standing offer. Fuck it, $300 to anyone that could get me a
Drake.
Let's see, who do we want? Barack Obama, $300 for Barack.
And pussy too.
And pussy too.
What
We
about
could have
Trump?
a banger interview with Barack.
What about Trump? Would you have him?
Trump, $300 for Trump, easy. Yeah, standing offer.
Great.
So Rick Glassman, the comedian, was the first person I was able to interview because somebody tagged him, and he was like, "Okay, I'll do it." And I sent her $300 and did the episode with Rick. There you go, girl. Then I got a random comment on TikTok asking if I heard of Funny Marco, a comedian also known for his dry interview style. Took a screenshot of the comment, posted on my Instagram stories, and then tagged him saying, "Marco, if you want to make this girl $300, DM me." He had over 4 million followers at the time, and I only had 500,000. I was like, "Hey, he's not going to see this," but he replied like a second later, so I sent the girl 300. He came on the podcast. Our video together got so many views, and Drake liked it, and then he followed me. This is, dude, the way that these podcasts hit, I almost haven't seen anything like it before. Podcasts are boring, man. They're hard to like get people to watch.
Yeah.
You know, be like, "Hey, check out this fucking awesome podcast." I mean, how many people are just going to watch that and then go watch the podcast?
Yeah, most podcasts you need like prior like lore and shit
Not
like
ours.
That.
You can just hop in
That's
at any
true.
moment.
Ours is
There's
not
no
like that.
there's no inner jokes.
Yeah.
I intentionally crafted so that anybody could hop in at any time and understand everything we're talking about.
Yeah, I thought she had like a little bit of an industry plan vibe to her at first, but hearing what you just said, that she's kind of headhunted and stuff like that, kind of makes sense, I guess.
Well, Dan had an industry plant theory, which I'm curious about. But I mean, listen, it went a little too easy, don't you think? Marco and then Marco to Drake.
The big leap
from Marco to like the most famous person in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Mark Cuban came on. Because
Yeah, Mark Cuban.
Let me go to her YouTube channel and see all the famous people she's had on now.
I feel like Mark Cuban will be like, probably saw something in her, like when he wanted to be after Drake. I feel like
I think everybody saw these funny Marco ones and was like, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
I decided to just go for it, she said, and shoot my shot. I DM'd Drake and asked if he wanted to be on my podcast. He said yes. He sent me his touring schedule, and I knew that I needed to make it happen fast. So me and my friend flew to Memphis 2 days after the original DM was sent to record the episode. I mean, listen, Drake has done stuff with this before. He played with Ninja. That's what catapulted him.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
He's also played on Twitch with other people. Also, he just casually gambles, on stake.com just for the love of the game.
Yeah. Not a sponsorship at all.
Definitely not. So let me see. Now, Dan, you had an industry plant theory, and I know that's like a running joke. What is an industry plant? Can you tell me that? I don't even know what that means.
Well, I think usually you hear it in relation to the music industry, where an artist will suddenly blow up and just is getting promoted everywhere. And the idea is that they have the full support of a major label, but they are trying to make their explosion in virality seem organic.
So, but how do they find this girl? Someone found this girl and says, "You're going to be famous." Like, what?
I mean, here's the thing. She had a huge following on TikTok prior to any of this podcast stuff of just being like one of those mom TikTokers or whatever.
Well, her persona is the same as you see on the podcast. She just did it with like her husband.
Right. So I'm not necessarily saying that her entire career is set up. However, the sudden just surge in popularity and just being all over social media and everything, and pretty much immediately being able to secure huge guests, not just Drake. I mean, the Mark Cuban one really like raises an eyebrow for me too. It's like Mark Cuban is just going on random new podcasts on a regular basis.
That's a good point. I haven't watched the Mark Cuban one.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, look, she hasn't done that many episodes. One was Colleen, which she axed, rip to the goat.
I think I read earlier that that episode was released the week that her controversy started. So
Awesome.
good timing.
So then Funny Marco, this one went massive on TikTok. I mean, it has 3.4 million on YouTube, which is a lot for a podcast, especially a channel that like just got made. Then from that, she talks about Armani White. I don't know who that is. I'm assuming it's a musician. Then Lil Yachty. Then Mark Cuban. Or Drake was before Mark Cuban, I think, but she removed the fucking episode.
I think the Drake was after, but it was like
Really?
And then
forget.
she
I
just
forget.
did Tyga.
Right. It's crazy.
So what's your theory behind the industry plan thing? You said you read something.
I don't necessarily have a theory. Well, so first of all, one of the main things that you'll see, and I'm seeing in our chat right now, is that she's got the same management as Drake or whatever.
Okay, so
which she's managed by WME. Now, Ethan, you can speak on this, but that doesn't mean as much as people probably think.
So when I heard that, as someone who's even worked with them on the influencer front,
Yeah.
the influencer WME is like not even in the same building. Like this is like a joke, dude. The influencer side, they literally just email anyone with 50,000 views and try to just parasite any money off them. I highly doubt that WME representing Drake has almost nothing to do with WME representing her. Although, I mean, if she blew up this big, I can see them making a connection there,
But
Yeah, potentially. But the weird thing was, like, I couldn't find. I was Googling around before the show trying to find exactly when she started getting represented by WME, because there are several articles out there in the last week or so saying that she just got representation from them after the Drake interview.
Girl, you should be careful about that, because you go big, all of a sudden you have all these people reaching out to you, and you're like, oh, WME, that sounds great. No, they're
Right.
fucking horrible.
But these articles, I could not find a solid source on that claim. And they weren't necessarily on, it was like, I think I saw one that was like Dexerto, which, no shade to Dexerto, but not necessarily Pulitzer stuff here, you know what I mean? But I tried to find some sort of announcement, because usually when WME signs a big influencer or new talent or something, they'll put out PR about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll announce it, or they'll put something in the trades.
But just being with
I couldn't
WME,
find
that
any
makes...
sort of any official information. So I don't know where they're getting this info that she was just signed to WME.
But even if she is, that seems kind of light for industry plant. Seems to me like
I mean,
she
it
just...
points a little bit more towards that.
Well, what does that even... I don't even know what that means.
It
Like,
just means
she's
that they have
famous.
sort of tacit support of the industry.
I don't know.
that
She
they're
makes
gonna be
good
pushed in
content.
the algorithms and everything without, subtly try to make it seem.
I'm Team Bobby.
Yeah.
I think she did this. And the rise is insane. I agree, but like, I mean, I don't think it. I'm not trying to take any credit away from her.
Yeah. I think
Now-
regardless, she's hilarious, and I like these interviews. So it doesn't necessarily.
Right. It's a great product.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. I mean, you can tell from the Funny Marco, the Drake, they have like tens of millions of views. But okay. Is Tyga enemies with Drake? Somebody said in chat. I'm not sure about
No,
the street
I
beef.
was wondering if maybe like she's gonna bring on someone that Drake has beef with, and like it's promo for it. But no, like I don't think so.
So what is going on here? Because none of them said anything, and they just erased.
Very strange.
So my initial thought is it's got to be coordinated. I can't imagine a world where they actually had a falling out. How is that even possible?
Yeah.
It's like a huge dub for both of them. There couldn't possibly be a. The only
it
thing is
does
like
start. I mean, we're talking about it, right? It got a big wave of buzz, and then that starts to die off because the cycle moves on as these things do. And then they pull something like this, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about it again and looking for it. Maybe it goes back up in a few days.
Well, I think if they're doing it on purpose, it's got to be in preparation for something they're planning. Either another video together, where they have some backstory about how they got in a fight and erased each other from social media. The only serious thing I could see is potentially some kind of legal thing, but that just seems so dumb to me.
Or like maybe she went to his show and he was creepy maybe and forgot that she was married, wanted to hook up.
Huh?
I don't
you
know.
think so? Well, here's
like I don't think she would probably respond so like publicly because people are gonna see that you unfollow and you delete all your shit.
and then why would Drake
Reciprocate.
erase her? It's like so petty and weird. That's an interesting theory I hadn't thought about. But here she is. She was just at his show. This was what? Saturday. Here's what she posted, which I guess is now erased, right? Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can't do that. But anyway, imagine Drake's playing.
Drake!
Yeah, Drake. Yeah, that's what he sounds like. I love Drake. So she erased this. Okay. What the fuck?
It's pretty what the fuck. I don't know.
It does not make sense in my brain, even if it's like a publicity stunt, to delete viral shit. So counterintuitive. Because that shit was still getting views. That shit was still
Yeah, it was
popular.
such a fat dub
Yeah.
for both of them.
Yeah, so in my brain, it gotta be legal stuff. That it wasn't like an authorized interview with his label or some shit. And,
That would be crazy if Drake couldn't like tell them to fuck off
well, that's the,
Also, that
I don't
wouldn't
know.
constitute them unfollowing each other.
though.
That
Right. There's the beef.
Good point. That's
There's the beef.
That adds to it.
By the way, I've seen her joking about this industry plant thing. I didn't know that people were actually serious. Just celebrating because the industry planted me.
I mean, our chat seems very divided on it.
What? I don't even get that. I guess do a poll. I'm curious about the industry plant theory.
I feel like industry plant is just having a big team behind them, like having a good.
That doesn't mean she's a plant. Dude. She's still
Yeah, again,
talented, and
it's
she
just-
had a following before.
The key aspect of it, it can take a few forms, but
Yeah.
that people don't necessarily catch on to the fact that they're being heavily promoted.
They're being groomed,
Right.
promoted. Okay, do a poll.
Do
Industry
you think
plant.
It is an industry plant.
Cause like Drake is petty like that. He
Hmm.
had a
He
thing
is.
with Like I wouldn't put it past him to reciprocate like in a nasty way.
Well, remember that DMC sent Fantano. That shit was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was so
I was
wild.
like,
He doesn't
that's-
play on Instagram.
In fact, this interview was so good, I forgot that he's such a petty bitch. And I was like, oh, he's down to earth and cool.
right.
Right.
Yeah. He's a douche.
Fuck me.
Yeah, our poll is looking quite divided here, close to 50-50.
But
feel-
like,
yeah.
she's been on the internet so long, and she's been successful. People like
Well, listen,
her.
her initial success, I think, is almost certainly organic. I think
yeah.
the industry plant thing is just for the podcast specifically.
It's
the
getting
podcast was
defensive.
set up to be.
Listen, I'm not getting defense for Bobby. I just don't get it. Dude, don't talk shit about Bobby. What the fuck? I'm on their plant team, by the way. I'm being paid to run defense for her.
Botness.
So if this is actually a real beef, it's stunning. It's unreal.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy. I really have a hard time. Please interview Rich Lux. Rich is part of the gang. He's coming with us to Disneyland for sure. Him and Dan are gonna hold hands and skip the whole time. They're gonna ride on Space Mountain together.
That would be good content.
Dan is the queen. Give it up to Dom. Dan is the
So, I see lots of people saying Drake is a creep. I'm not. I don't know about his whole lore. You know what I mean? I know we goofed on him for the Millie Bobby Brown thing, which was pretty weird.
So bad.
Yeah, that was almost pretty bad.
So maybe he tried to. You think maybe he tried to have sex with her? That would certainly do it.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
Millie
I mean,
Bobby
like,
Brown, Bobby
maybe-
Altoff. It's the Bobby,
maybe-
dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he just thought that she was single and that she came to his show and. But I feel like
doesn't. He
their
knows.
rapport, like she could have just been like, "No, fuck off, I'm married." Like I feel like it wouldn't have been that
Serious.
dramatic, right?
I mean, again, this is like crazy speculation, but I don't think he's a. I don't think he would. I don't even want to say it. It's so absurd.
No,
Do something.
No.
Because then she unfollows and then he unfollows. Gotta be. It's gotta be. We're gonna have to check back in on this in a week.
Yeah, because he did like follow Ice Spice, then unfollow Ice Spice, and then refollow Ice Spice. Like,
What was that about?
It was about probably thinking she was hot, but like, he does do that. It was in the news.
Such a
That is good to know.
such a weirdo.
I mean,
We're gonna keep an eye on this because if they don't come out with like some kind of planned thing in the next week or two, then this is serious. This actually is a real beef.
yeah. Then
Which I have to know what happened.
then I'm defaulting to that Drake did something weird and creepy.
I mean,
My brain goes there. If it's not
Occam's razor,
Let's
right?
not-
Like,
yeah.
if it's not
No,
fake,
Occam's razor to me is legal stuff.
but then why did they unfollow each other?
The unfollow.
Right.
See, that counters
unfollowing,
that.
Yeah, I don't
unfollowing
think that works.
ruins
Yeah.
it all. So if Occam's razor, if we were to follow the razor,
Mm-hmm.
the unfollow, the deleting. Occam's razor tells me it's a fake. It's a planned.
I mean, that was my initial impression as well. But
right now, yeah, I agree
It's a
with
planned shtick.
you. But if nothing changes in 1 week, it changes to him being weird.
I guess it has to.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense to remove it and then like prolong it even longer.
It doesn't make any sense for them. Yeah, the legal stuff doesn't make sense with the unfollow.
Yeah.
also, it's coming back to the poll. It's almost exactly 50-50. I feel like this is the most divided we've
Yeah,
ever had a
we
poll.
never get pulled this close.
Like, it'll always lean one way or another a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. The people are torn. And frankly, I am too. That's why I was saying I don't necessarily subscribe to the theory, but there are many elements of this that are very strange.
Someone says, I think this is a nothing burger. Have you ever watched the show before?
That's all we talk
This is
about.
literally what
It's
we
all
do.
nothing burgers.
I'm talking about this for an hour.
We spent a week on XQC. The guy eats his toenails.
Oh my God, Olivia, I need to call you out, girl.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
What?
Oh, you know what?
You know what's coming.
I think I do.
Send me that post. Send me that post.
No, what?
Send me the
No?
post.
I will.
You have to be the one to send it.
Really?
I mean, because it's your thing.
Listen, it was on the subreddit.
I mean, yeah, no, the Reddit really threw me.
Olivia.
Olivia has
Let me
found
put it this
herself in
way.
hot, possibly soon to be boiling water.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That was
Wow.
awesome, Zach.
Whoa.
Let me just say this. What do we know is Olivia's type? Skinny crackheads.
That's
Dumbasses.
who said that?
You said
You
that.
did.
Yeah, I said that.
She's into the skinny crackhead type that looks like they could literally die of starvation or overdose at any moment.
Sometimes.
Oh, this went big on the subreddit. It's okay, Olivia. I get it. Look at this. Thirst trapped XQC getting liked by Olivia Lopez.
Okay. I don't.
And then wait, that's not even the thirstiest one. Look at this, dude.
That's old.